Terry McLaurin requests a trade from the Commanders as of like 2 hours ago, basically. Obviously, there was some, I guess, estranged contract talks and everything. I think he's actually been holding out a little bit from training camp over in Washington and everything, and he officially requests a trade. Not going to lie, when I first saw this come through on my phone, I was like, why are you requesting a trade from the Commanders? Like, you've been there the longest out of basically anyone, and now that they're finally good, they're finally a destination for free agents, they're finally like maybe going to make that next step. That's where you kind of disagree about contract and you want out ultimately. Like, that's a wild time to ask out if I was him. But what's your initial reaction here about Terry McLaurin one out?
When I first saw this, I was just thinking, like, this is definitely like a negotiation move, because kind of like what you were saying, like, why would you want out? You finally have a good quarterback. You guys went to the conference championship game last season, like when no one had you even being anywhere that good. I can see someone trying to capitalize on a good season, because like what you kind of alluded to, like all these years of being like horrible and bad quarterback play and just like, I guess, not being able to reach your full potential because the guy getting you the ball isn't very good. And then you have one good season with a really good quarterback, and you're just like, all right, I got to go try to get this money because this might not happen again, because you've seen the other side of the coin where it's terrible. So I can't blame him for wanting to get his money, but like requesting a trade, I just think is just kind of a power move, because I don't see him leaving, because Washington's good. Like, why would you want to go somewhere where you're just going to repeat the last few years without Jaden Daniels, with bad quarterback play? Because I see here you have like, I mean, if you went to the Chiefs, that'd be different, but like Colts and Jets, like their quarterback play ain't any better than where you are. But I mean, obviously if he ends up with the Chiefs, he could win a Super Bowl, but I think it's a power move in my personal opinion, but I'm not totally sure.
It does feel like a little bit of a power move, but more often than not, I think when players are trying to do that, there's not really that much of a market for them. Whereas I think the market for Terry McLaurin would be a pretty hot one. I think a lot of teams in the NFL would want him and would try to make the trade for him. And it might end up backfiring on Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
So that's not something that he would want, I don't think, necessarily, if he is trying to hold out for the power move. And then obviously I don't think it works out for Washington either. I think he's a big piece of what they have over there, and he's kind of instrumental to them taking that next step. Obviously, he's a big reason that they took that step with Jaden Daniels last year. But he's been there since 2019. So like you were saying, he's only kind of known the bottom of the NFL as far as the standards are concerned. And now that he finally has a good team, it's just a weird thing that he would want out. So I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that it's just kind of a power move maybe, but I mean, that's a big time power move and a risky one at that, I'd say. Cause I mean, there are a couple teams reportedly, interested. And as far as we know right now, I think it's the Colts, Chiefs, and the Jets. And like you were saying, Colts and Jets, like you don't want to trade the Commanders for that. Like if the Chiefs works out, maybe, but the Chiefs aren't really ones to, necessarily go out there and trade for the big time name or anything like that.
Yeah, they won't pay what he's looking to try to get.
Exactly. So I don't think the Chiefs is as realistic, but Colts and like you don't want to trade the Commanders for the Colts or the Jets. So
dude, there's no way.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets traded at all. But big time news coming out of Washington for sure. Just with that news coming down, we'll see if he's going to be on the move or if he's going to be staying at the Washington Commanders for the foreseeable future. He is going to be 20. He'll be 30 by the time the season starts. So if he's trying to get that last that contract, it'll likely be his last, just because 2 or 3 years from now, receivers start to be on the down low. So it'll probably be his last contract. So he's trying to make it a good one. So kind of understandable there.